Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Dave Gandarillas here. I put this channel together to show you ways that I'm generating streams of income online to attain the wealth that you might be looking for. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider watching the video, subscribing, clicking the little bell, and sharing this video to social media where you think other people might be interested in the content that I'm sharing here. When we get to 2,000 members of this channel, I'm going to be doing a crypto giveaway, so be sure to consider subscribing and liking and following my channel. In the video description, in case you don't have a lot of time, you don't want to watch the whole video, or you just want to go to specifics, there'll be a list of timestamps where you can go and you can kind of see the topic in the videos, and you could jump to those topics if that's what you want to do. Also, there's an income disclaimer here just to make you guys sure you're aware that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube sharing my information and my knowledge to you guys in the efforts of educating you. You may know less than me, you may know more than me, but wherever you are, maybe you'll take something away from this video. I give you ways to contact me here, and also a list of some other opportunities that I have involvement in, and I'm growing streams of income. And then finally, more importantly, I have a list of topics here that I'd like you guys to comment in the video descriptions to share with me what you want me to talk about. So please consider making a comment in the video. Let me know what topic you want me to get into next. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go into Forex a little bit. So in Forex, you know, the technical analysis is very similar. But it's a little bit more complex in some ways. So I'm going to show you some charts that I'm using to take care of one of these these Forex pairs that I follow. So let's get into the chart discussions. So here you're going to see that I have 4 charts. And they're all correlated with each other. They all have to do with each other. So in order to trade the British pound against the New Zealand dollar, you got to understand what's going on with the British pound against the US dollar, the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, and finally the US dollar itself. So the composite of all 4 of these, or all 3 of these, make up this one right here. So let me just kind of discuss some general stuff. If we go into, what's the best way for me to do this? Let me open up a Word document. And I'm just going to use it for a blank white screen, really. I'm going to use this new tool in this video that I didn't realize and is even here. But I'm going to draw some stuff here. So we have the Great Britain pound, GBP, right? And that's over the USD. Then we have the NZD over the USD. And you might want to figure out, okay, so how do we get GBP to the NZD? Now this, depending on where, I don't know what grade you learned this in, but it's basic math. But if you take this and you divide it by this, you get this. So basically when you divide, if you have fraction 1 divided by fraction 2, it's equal to fraction 1 multiplied by 1 over 2, right? It's the same thing. That's how you get the 1/2 is equal to this, right? So if you use that terminology, if you take the GBP as ratio 1, which is equal to 1, right? So BBP over USD divided by NZD over USD, you get the same kind of thing. You get GBP, right? GBP over USD multiplied by USD NZD. And then these cancel each other out because there's one on top and one on the bottom, so that equals 1. And you get left with GBP, NZD. So why am I showing you this? What I'm showing you this for is that this pair right here is very dependent on these two pairs. And the USD goes away when you think of this pair itself, but the USD affects these two pairs independently. So basically what I'm showing here is, depending on how fast GBP is moving in comparison to NZD, either it's going to go up or it's going to go down, right? When you have a denominator here, if the ratio goes down, let me trying to think how to I think I have to erase this. Let me do a snip so we could keep this. How do I do a snip? Trying to do a snip. Is it already doing it? No. Nope. Alright, anyway. I wanted to save that, but oh well. Alright, so when you have a ratio, GBP, NZD, a couple things can happen, right? You have a couple scenarios. If NZD goes down, the overall pair goes up, right? Then you've got GBP, NZD. Now if NZD goes up, the overall pair goes down. It's just a ratio. You got to think about the numbers. If the number on the bottom goes higher, the overall fraction is going to go lower. If the number on the bottom goes lower, the overall fraction goes higher. And then you got the same thing for the top. You got GBP over NZD, right? If this goes down and this stays constant, the overall ratio goes down. If this goes up and this goes down, this stays constant. All right. Apparently I'm zooming in. All right, I'm learning this tool, so be patient with me. So NZD. So if GBP goes up and NZD stays the same, the overall number goes up. All right, so we're going to use this later here. I wish I can get this snipping tool. I don't know why this doesn't pop up. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is, though. Wonder if I close this. Interesting. All right. So anyway, what I'm trying to say here is these ratios are measuring the relative change of the Great British Pound in comparison to the New Zealand dollar. So if this is going up much greater than, faster than the New Zealand dollar, so for example that only goes up 1 bar and that goes, so this is increasing faster than this, you're going to get an increase. If this is increasing but this one's decreasing faster, you're going to get a decrease. So it's a relative measurement of the change in price in the Great Britain Pound compared to New Zealand dollar. So that's why when you look at these charts, how do I get out of this? Let me, okay. Wow, it's pretty cool. So I guess it brings up its own. All right. Well, anyway, so right here, like, you know, as Great Britain pound is going down, if this is going down slower than this is going down, then the ratio on the bottom is going to decrease slower than the ratio on top, and the overall price of the pair is going to go down. You know, so that's how you kind of figure out what's going on here. Now this DXY is affecting both of these pairs. It's just a matter of which one's going to move faster or slower. If they're correlated to the you know, if for whatever reason the dollar goes down but the New Zealand dollar still goes up, you know, you're going to see a faster increase on the New Zealand dollar. So you got to kind of understand these, you know, all four of these in order to trade an individual pair, like, you know, the Britain pound against the dollar. Now, you know, each of these pairs are going to have its own set of patterns that are showing up, and it's, you know, they're doing their own thing. You got to figure out if they're an uptrend, downtrend, all that kind of stuff. And then same thing here. This is the New Zealand dollar. I mean, you could see that they kind of both broke out of a triangle formation. This one hit its target right here, and now it's consolidating. So we don't know what's really going to happen right here, but all we could do is sit tight. It looks like a double top, so that might, for this pair, might be headed down. Now, what does that mean? If this pair is headed down, that's it. If the New Zealand dollar is headed down, that means that the British pound compared to the dollar is going to go up. So, you know, it's inversely proportional. So New Zealand dollar goes down, and the overall pair is going to go higher. So I guess that's what I wanted to get across in this video. But each of these have its own patterns, has its own pairs, but they're interrelated to each other, and you got to understand the effects of one on the other. So if you just look at this one pair by itself, you're not getting the full picture of what's going on. If you take a step back and you take a look at, okay, the British dollar is going up, and so is the New Zealand dollar, but which one's going up faster? Then you could kind of see, okay, well, that made sense. Over here, apparently the New Zealand dollar went up faster than the British pound, and that's what drove it down. Now you can see here, just like in my other videos, I drew some pitchforks on the angled up and the angled down. You know, we're getting close to another point here where a decision is going to be made, but you can kind of see how it's kind of followed this one up, and it's following this one down, and we're getting into a squeeze point where it's going to have to decide what it's going to do, right? So we don't know. We got to see what price action is going to do on this. But right now I'm waiting. My play on this, unlike crypto, I do have a short in this. So I'm hoping that this breaks down lower and starts hitting some of my price targets down here. Now I have price targets. Let's see where. Guess I must have deleted it all. I have some down in here. So if it breaks out of this bigger pattern, you know, the targets are there for it to come back down. And I drew this trend line. And, you know, as this breaks down, you know, my first sell area is probably going to be at this pivot right here that I talk to you about all the time. You know, there might be a little bit of a sell here, a little bit of a sell here. And certainly when it starts hitting this trend line pattern, longer term pattern that I have shown here, you know, so those are my three zones of sales. So again, I mentioned it in all my videos. You got to do proper risk management. Got to move your stop losses. But just for purposes of this breakout, you know, these are going to be the zones of sales that I do. And depending on where price action goes and how fast, if it follows this downward pitchfork is kind of under development yet. So I'm not sure if the steepness is going to stay as steep as we have it here. But depending on where price action hits, there's going to be another sell. You know, my final sell is going to be somewhere along this trend line, wherever price, you know, depending on how fast it comes down or how slow. When it breaks down, you know, I'm gonna be selling some here. You know, seeing if it bounces up, moving my stop loss down like I tell you about in crypto. And when it breaks through here, maybe it's gonna go in between these two for a while. And then when it finally hits here, or if it hits here first, I'll take some more off the table. If it comes down hard and fast, then I'll be taking some off the table here. and then the final closeout of my trade will probably be down here. But along all the way, I'm going to be moving my stop losses down, you know, so that it becomes a break even for sure and a profitable trade on the way down. So I'm sitting here waiting for the breakout, and that'll be my trade. And again, I'm anticipating it to break down, not up. It's gone on. If you take a step back and you look at the overall chart, it's been on a pretty big run to the upside. So if you take a step back here, dang, Jesus, this freaking brush thing. All right. Now it is on an overall downtrend, but if you look at, you know, the short term, it took a pretty deep crash here, and it's come back, and now it's come down, and now it's been on a pretty good run. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but that's a pretty good run. And you could see here, it's staying within this channel that I've shown here. You can't really see it too well in the monthly, but here you can kind of see it's hitting the upward trend line. So that's why I'm anticipating it to follow it down. And again, you know, for my immediate trade, I'm going to be getting out once it hits this trend line. If not, I'm for sure going to have a stop loss that's pretty close to lock in a guaranteed profit if I want to let it to run further down to these longer term trend lines. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you today. I wanted to give some education about how Forex market pairs correlate to, like, you know, you might have to have up to 4 on your chart at any given time. Now with crypto, it's usually, you know, either say for example, either the Bitcoin against the dollar or Ethereum against the dollar. There's no well, actually, I guess there is. I guess there's probably Bitcoin against the Ethereum, and then you would have to have Ethereum against the dollar, Bitcoin against the dollar, and the dollar. So you'd have 3 charts here, 4 charts just like this. You'd have the Ethereum against the dollar, Bitcoin against the dollar, Ethereum against Bitcoin, and then the dollar. So you would have similar analysis that you'd have to do if you're trading for example, the Ethereum to the Bitcoin ratio on a platform. So you'd have to see how Ethereum's moving to the dollar, how Bitcoin's moving to the dollar, and then you would have the ratio of the two and see, you know, depending on which one's moving faster in whatever direction, it's going to influence the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And then you also have to consider the dollar related to the individual pairs against the dollar, the Ethereum against the dollar and the Bitcoin against the dollar. So you'd have to have a 4-set chart here for those type of trades. Now, if you're just doing the Ethereum against the dollar, then you only need to worry about 2, right? But if you're going to get involved with like the Ethereum against the Bitcoin ratio, then you're going to have to look at 4 charts to really get the overall picture of how things are playing out, which one's moving faster, which one's moving slower, are they correlated, are they uncorrelated, are they inversely correlated, are they, you know, correlated in the same direction? All those kind of things have to be figured out by looking at these charts. So there's no per se trade that I'm suggesting here, other than if you are in Forex and you want to get involved. I do have some other things that I use for Forex. So for example, I'm going to show you something here just as a sneak peek. So this is one of the trading softwares that I purchase and I use, and basically it gives you a quick snapshot of the various pairs. And as you can see, it can be used for Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. It basically depends on what your broker allows you to have. So all Forex brokers don't have all the different Forex cryptocurrency pairs. So you got to pick a broker that has what you want to do, and you got to also remember the broker might not be trading on weekends. So you have to pick a broker that trades cryptos on weekends if you want to do that. Otherwise, if you're in a trade on Friday, the broker closed down, and you can't sell, you can't buy, you can't do nothing. You're at the mercy of the market until it reopens on Monday morning. So usually either you get in and get out before the weekend comes and you don't have any open trades, or you find a broker that allows you to trade over the weekend. So related to GBP NZD that I'm talking to you about the trade, it gives you a snapshot here of the current spread, the open, and how many pips it's moved in either the up direction or the down direction. Orange is down and green is up. And then it talks to you about the weekly, how much it's moved in a week, and then it gives you the ADR, the average daily move of the pair. So you could start seeing what it's done in the day compared to what it typically does, and you could decide, has it moved way too much and you don't have enough more movement to get your trade in and out. A lot of times people look for like 20 pips. So if you have something here, for example, let's see if there's any examples here. These are all still pretty good because the new day just opened tonight. So but what you want to make sure is that between this number and this number, you have more than 20 pips left. So if for example, the 112 here, if there was 100 here and you're looking for 20 pips, you know that you don't have enough room for the price of the typical price movement of this pair. Doesn't have much more to go for the day for you to get in and get out of a trade. So this kind of gives you a sample of, yeah, there's a good trade happening, but hey, you know, the pair already moved already, and the chances of me getting another 20 pips is low because these numbers are too close together, right? So looking at the GPB NZD, you can see here that it's moved 6 pips since the open. Weekly, on a weekly basis, it's moved 20, and the overall ADR for this is 135, and it's only moved 39. So then you could click very quickly and move to each one of these time frames. Now for the strategies they show on this software, you know, you have 5 minutes that's usually used for crypto, and then you got the 15 1 hour and 4 hour that are used on the forex pairs. Different strategies require different levels, but the most prominent simple beginner strategy uses the M15. So right here, look. So something just popped up. It was perfect. The GBP USD, the dashboard is telling us that there's a possible trade alert that popped up, and you can go and take a look at this. So this is on the H4 hour. All right. So if you load the template that I have pre-saved here, it gives you a quick summary. Okay. So all the greens are support levels. All the reds are resistance levels. You zoom out all the way and you count the number of bars. And if there's more green than red, then it's an uptrend. If there's more red than green, it's a downtrend. You want to take the trade in the direction of the trend to give you a higher probability trade. So, for example, right here, it passed the moving averages and it put an up arrow. So if it had a bag, if it bounced off of you're looking for a trade up because it's more green than red. Now, if the price action bounced off one of these green areas and it's heading up, that's in the right direction. So right here was actually an earlier trade that you could have took, but we didn't see that. But now there's another arrow here that popped up in the same direction. So what you got to make sure is typically you want to look for 20 pips. So you have to take the measurement tool. You got to zoom in a little bit. You gotta see from the entry that you would do right now if there's at least 20 pips. And there is. There's 60 pips. So really this is a legit trade that you could take right now and enter, you know, depending on your risk and all. I'll get more involved with you if you're interested in this and you actually join. But there's different parts of the strategy, different lot sizes per dollar value of your account. All that kind of stuff is discussed as a member. But basically right now this would be a live trade, and you would enter here and you would look for 20 pips, and you would set your stop loss down here, a specific number that the strategy talks about, and you would re-enter into a trade. So it's kind of like you don't have to go through a crazy amount of technical analysis. You just look, basically you look to see how many red to green. If it's more green, then you're looking for an up arrow. Then next thing you look for, if it's an up arrow, it has to have bounced off of a green. It did bounce off of green. So really, if I was watching this chart more closely, this would have been the trade I would have been in already. And from there, getting in here, I mean, right now you'd be up 122 pips. Now, just like I showed you with crypto, you would be moving you can move your stop losses up. You know, every time this pivot happens, you would move your stop loss up. Right now, your stop loss would be here, and you could continue letting this ride. Maybe you took, you know, after 20 pips, you took some of your stuff off the table, and you left. Maybe you take off 50% at 20 pips, and you leave the rest to go, and you just continue moving the stop loss higher and higher. Now you want to get out. You want to get out or set your target for sure before it hits another red zone. Or if a red zone pops up, you immediately get out of the trade. So those are all simple strategies that this software provides. And if you're interested in it, there's a link in the video description. I'll show that to you real quick. Let me get this off the screen. So I got two things set up for that. In the videos, if you look at the video description, you'll see two things related to the software that I just showed. There's a Telegram group that I set up for people that are interested and want to talk to me more about it. And then from there, I will give you more information and share more, detailed information on what it's all about and how it works. I'll also put you in touch with some live webinars the company has related to the software, and you get to see the developers, and you get to talk to directly to the person that actually wrote the code to write that software that I just showed you, and you can hear it from his mouth directly on how things work. Once you get started, you'll get into a group where the actual developer of that code will come on 3 or 4 times a week and actually do live trading sessions with you. Now, it's not something that, it's not like go take this trade. It's more educational purposes. He goes through the trades that are happening real time. In the end, it's your decision if you want to take the trade or not, but he shows you the thought process, how to go about the analysis, and all the details related to how to use that software to improve the probability of success on your trades, maximize your profits, minimize your losses. And again, like I showed you the very simple strategy for new people. There's 10 different strategies. Once you start getting better at the trading, there's a lot more to do with that software than I just explained to you. That's the simple, easy. You don't need to know anything. You just come in and follow the step-by-step analysis that I just kind of went through a little bit with you. Also, I just want to show you something real quick that I saw on this chart that I've talked about in the past. Right here, look. You see this W? There it is. There's the W. There's the pitch upward. And here's the neckline. So right here, if you didn't get in here, you could have traded that W pattern and got in here, and now you would be in the trade. There was 3 possible entries that happened for this trade. You could have got back in after this bounce, right on this arrow here. You could have waited for the W to break out of the W to happen. You could have got in here, and now it's actually saying you can get in here. And the end game is up here. So you want to get out. This is a resistance area. You could see how it's hit this area here once and twice. You don't want to play with, you can let the price go up there and then move your stop loss somewhere here, and hopefully it pushes through and you get more. But as it's approaching these red zones, you really should look to take profits, and it's the low risk approach to not risking a turn. Price action can turn at any time, and so that's part of the strategy. I just kind of saw this on the other screen while I was talking to you guys. This is a nice W. Tilted upward suggests a change in direction. So right here is the end game for the price. Now there's other, like I said, other strategies. There's use Fibonacci, you use something called the Asian breakout. There's a whole bunch of different the bank induction mode. There's so many different things that that the owner, not the owner, but the developer, the owner of this software, the originator of this software, the developer of this software shares with us, and he puts the time in. Again, look at this. I mean, I just kind of talked about it, but look at this right here. This is an M, right? Right here, boom, boom, double top. What happens? Breaks down. Here's the neckline. You would have took the trade down right here, and look what's here. This is against the strategy I just talked about, but there is other strategies that you would have taken this trade once you get better at trading this software. This goes above and beyond the basic one that I just explained to you, where you would take this down arrow in an uptrend because of this M. And even more importantly, if it was tilted downward, it would be even more impressive for a trade. But again, there's multiple strategies here that as you grow as a trader and you learn more as a trader, you could learn, and instead of just waiting for that one strategy to happen on these charts, you'll have up to 10. So again, if you're interested in this software, join my Telegram group, get in touch with me, make a comment here, go on Facebook, send me a message. However you want to get in touch with me, but get in touch with me and I'll share more information. Basically, it's very, you basically have control of all your money. You open up your own broker account, you put your money in your own broker account, and then you basically make a connection between the software on something called MetaTrader 4 platform to your broker account. So you have 100% of control of your money. You have 100% control of when the software you use the software and you trade. The company can't touch your money. And you take your money out of your broker and whatever requirements the broker has. It's not related to the software at all. Basically, the company is just licensing you software to use to increase the positive experience for you to do your Forex trading. So, again, it's going to depend on you sitting in front of the charts, but there's other ones that the company also offers that are somewhat, depending on where you are in the world, or either completely automated or semi-automated, where you set up the strategy, you set up the configuration, and then if you're in the U.S., unfortunately, you have to manually approve the trade that you want to take it. If you're outside the U.S., it'll automatically actually run for you, and you don't have to click the OK button to take the trades. So if you're outside the U.S., it's going to probably be a little bit more profitable because it's going to be running 24/7. Whereas in the U.S., you have to approve the trade. You don't have to approve the second and third trade related to the first trade, but you do have to initiate the initial trade to allow the software to do the sequence of trades that it's going to do based on the algorithm and based on your settings that you put in. So there's other options. There's 3 or 4 different software sets that the company offers in addition to the one I just showed you. So again, if you're interested, just reach out by either joining this Telegram group that I have put together here, or contact me on one of these platforms so that I can share more information with you and get you put in the right position to get started, and really describe the ins and outs of what this is all about. All right, guys. So take care. I hope you got some information and some knowledge of how the Forex market relates to technical analysis, and the same patterns show up in those charts just like they do in the crypto charts. So once you understand the skill set and you learn the skill set and you're able to do the technical analysis and put patterns on the chart and set the traps for price action, you could trade way more than just crypto. So just realize at some point there might be a bear market in crypto, and by you learning that skill set, you could start applying the technical analysis to stocks. You can apply it to the Forex market. You can use this other software. If you don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty details of all this, you could just use this other software that I just talked about, trading software, to just give you the quick and dirty of what's going on and kind of guide you to when you should take a trade, and use the proper risk management. And again, it's not financial advice or anything like that, but I was on a webinar with the developer of that software, and he was telling us about a guy that used the software. He was, pretty well off, so he had a good amount of money to put in, but he put in 6 figures in his own broker, and he used that trading software, and I believe it was 6 weeks. It took him only 6 weeks to double his account. So again, not financial advice, no promises of, what other people can do, what you can do, but when you start seeing results and you start hearing people doing very well, then you start realizing that if you're not doing well, then maybe you have to learn a little bit more for yourself, because if someone else can do it, you should be able to do it. And you got to look inward and self-develop yourself, fix what's broken or improve on what you don't know. There's something going on that allows someone else to do well and you're not doing well. So before you think it's a scam or something like that, just realize sometimes people have gone through more of a journey than you have already, and they've put the time and the effort or they're just easier to see the patterns. You know, there's something different between you and that person that's doing well and you're not doing well. And you got to try and figure out what that is and come to the root cause of that and fix it. It's all something you could fix, but you got to self-reflect and you got to figure out what it is. So it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be an overnight success, but these tools are meant to improve the learning curve. And as long as you stick to the rules and you don't deviate from the rules thinking that you know more, it's set up for you to do well. It's, you know, proof is in the guy telling us about the guy that doubled his account in 6 weeks. It could be done. And as long as you follow those rules and you stick to the rules and you realize you don't know as much as what the software knows, or the strategies that are put in place for a reason. So again, anyway, talking. All right, so consider subscribing to my channel. Take a look in the video description for the timestamps. Join the Telegram group or get in touch with me in other methods so that we can discuss the software a little bit more if you're interested. Like I said, it could be used for crypto, but it's mainly used right now for Forex. So if that's an area that you are in or are interested in getting involved in, and you're humble enough to just realize you don't know anything and you follow the directions that are given to you by the developer, you're going to take your own trades, but as long as you follow the step-by-step process of deciding if a trade is good or not, you have a high probability of success. And you got to make sure you don't over leverage. You got to do all the things that are talked about in the training sessions, which you can get involved in once you get started. So, all right, take care. Look for my next video. I'm going to do some analysis on cryptos, and then maybe in the morning I'll be doing another one related to my progress in my opportunity to 6 figures. So I think I'm getting very close to $100 a day here. So if you're interested, just check the video description, check out some of my videos in the channel, and subscribe. Once we get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a crypto giveaway. So don't miss out on that. Make sure you click the little bell so you get an alert when the new video comes out, and you could be part of this community. We learn together, we grow together, we create wealth together. That's what this channel is all about. Okay, guys? So guys and girls, I keep saying guys, but just realize I mean everybody, not just a specific orientation. So I'm not trying to be politically correct, but I just tend to say guys, and I kind of group everyone into guys. So don't take that personal. All right, take care until next time.